Hello, my name is Paul, and behind the camera is my wife Kathy. We're up here getting ready to do the Highline Trail on horseback, about a 52-mile trek for us. We're celebrating our 20th wedding anniversary, but we decided to document this trip because when we were doing our research in preparation for this, we had a really hard time finding anything relating to doing the trail on horseback. I know this area well. I've elk hunted in here. It's beautiful country, postcard views everywhere you look, but we have not done on horseback before. There's a long adventure race that occurs here, a 52-mile long foot race, but couldn't find a lot of information on doing it on horseback. So we're going to document the trip along the way. We're taking 4 days, 3 nights to do this, and we'll let you know how it goes. We're here right now at the Pine Trailhead. We're going to finish at the 260 Trailhead, which is about Christopher Creek Way. So we're up here off of the 87. The Pine Trailhead is just before you hit the town of Pine. It's very well marked, good signage, and real easy to find. There's a turnabout right here, a couple of horse corrals, so there's nice amenities here for getting the horses tied up and getting them packed up. You can see we're pretty much packed to the gills. We've got some heavy-duty saddle bags and saddle horn bags, and we're about ready to go. It is April 1st, April Fool's Day 2015, so the weather projection is for about highs around 66 to 70, lows about 35 to 40. So we think we're packed accordingly. We'll see, and we'll keep you posted on how things go. So we're about 7 miles in, and I wanted to tell you a little bit about the trail. This is a very rugged trail. You've got to have a good horse, healthy horse, able to tackle rugged country. We are at the base of the Mogollon Rim, so we are up and down constantly. Very rocky terrain, very technical terrain, even for a horse, but doable if your horse is young and healthy, injury-free. So far we're having a really good time. As I mentioned, it's springtime, and this year we have been having quite a bit of rain, and we were expecting to see a little bit more water in some of the creeks, but thus far, the first 7 miles, a lot of springs, so there has been water along the way. One spring in particular, there was a concrete stock tank there for the horses to drink from, so there is adequate water on the trail, and even for you can refill your water bottle from the spring. So all in all, so far so good. We'll probably get another 6 miles in or so and set up camp, and when we get there we'll talk a little bit more about our gear and how we're set up. Well, we just finished dinner, but I wanted to make sure everyone understood where we were at. We took some shots of the beautiful scenery here. We are just outside of Camp Geronimo. If you look at the map, on the west end of the Highline Trail, we're just 8 miles from the Pine Trailhead. We are at Camp Geronimo, and looking at the map, there's a couple different things that all come together right here. One is Weber Creek. You can hear the water. You saw the water in the video. That is Weber Creek, and Forest Road 440, which is right across the creek from us, and we are camped on Trail 1138. So right where those three come together is where we are camped. When we came into this area, things got a little bit confusing because of the trails, the 1138 trail and a couple other trails meandered off. We started to get a little bit confused, and that's how we settled on this spot for the night. As you can see, it's perfect for the horses, a lot of grass, fresh water, and we've been here for the last couple of hours. It's been perfect. So just want to make sure everybody can find out, see where we are on a map, and know what to look for if you ever come this way. Alright, just wanted to cover our gear a little bit. You've probably seen these packs in the background, but we haven't really talked about how we're geared up. First and foremost, the wide brim hat, the cowboy hat. This is Arizona, and it doesn't matter what time of year you're out, the sun is brutal. So sunblock, wide brim hat is absolutely necessary. You also might notice I'm carrying a sidearm. I don't carry a sidearm everywhere I go, but on this trip, in this country, this is mountain lion country, it's bear country, and this time of year in the springtime we know mama cats and mama bears are going to be out with the cubs, so just don't want to be in a position where we're between her and them, and if we are, or at least we're carrying. These packs we ordered online. There's a lot of different online vendors where you can find these packs. This is a two-part pack system. The saddle bags lay across the back of the saddle and tie down, and then this second pack, the top pack, fastens to them at the base. So it's a really nice system. It's enabled us to carry 4 days, about 3.5 days worth of grain for the horses, plus our stuff. We've got some straps up here on top of these Cordura packs for tying other things down and cinching them up. A lot of little loopholes so we can fasten things like this little portable chair. And on the front, the saddle horn bag, a little bit more substantial of a bag than you would normally have just riding around home. Again, this is a heavy duty but more substantial in its size and volume. And you just can't believe the amount of miscellaneous items that you need to carry on a trip like this. So this is working for us. Again, we're here for 3 nights and 4 days, and this system is enabling us to bring virtually everything that we need to bring. You see, we've got braces on the horse's ankles. You know, people have different schools of thought, but definitely what we noticed yesterday was it saved the horses from cuts and abrasions. They still wound up with some cuts in their legs, but they were in places that these braces didn't cover. So we think it was a good investment and a good idea for us to bring them. So we're heading off. We'll see you at the next stop. Look how beautiful this is. Oh man. Oh. We gotta take a picture here, babe. Alright, so this is the first part of the trail that's been questionable. We've had a lot of places that were technical, but this is the first time it's really been questionable. And if you see that rock face, that red rock face right over there, there's a cut. That's the trail. And from here it looks nearly impossible. We almost backed out and tried to find another way around. But I walked down there. There actually is a place to walk the horses. So we're going to choose to walk the horses here, and we'll show you what that looks like. We just crossed another creek that had water in it. So we watered the horses there just a few minutes ago. There's more water here, so that's a good sign. That's what we were hoping for, was to find water in a lot of these low spots. As you can see, once you get over here, it's not quite as bad as it might originally have appeared. This is the most difficult creek crossing we've had so far. We're at Dude Creek. We just got here. We're going to set up camp for the night for our second evening. And you see where the trail comes down there. And it was very difficult to cross, especially with the horses down below. Giant boulders down there. So what we had to do is we had to backtrack upstream just a little bit and cross down here on these flats. And right about down there in the green spot is where we were able to get the horses up around the creek and eventually come up this very steep incline that you see Kathy coming up right now. But One of the things that was tricky about this is there appears to be another trail that goes off to the left there. I hope you can see that in the image. And when we came down the hill, that was going to the right. And it took a second to determine which was the right trail, but it is in fact this side. So you do have to cross the creek right here at Dude Creek. Do not parallel the creek. I walked down that way and the trail peters out, and it is well marked at the crossing, and it's well marked from here on. So you can see the little yellow tab over on that stump over there. So this is the crossing at Dude Creek. Alright, here we are on beautiful Bonita Creek. A lot of water running behind us, and we like to stop and set up in places where there's a lot of running water. Makes it easy to start a campfire, put the campfire out, obviously do your cooking, do your cleaning, and this is just a beautiful spot that we stopped in. It's early April, you see the leaves coming out in the trees, and in a few weeks this will be a lot greener than it is right now. A lot of fresh grass for the horses, and obviously water. The horses are hobbled and walking around grazing wild right now, and they're just loving it. Now it is early April, and we chose this time of year deliberately. We wanted to avoid fire restrictions. Usually by June there are fire restrictions. In May, any given day, depending on the year, any given day, there could be fire restrictions imposed in this area of Tano Forest. So we chose to try to get this trip done before the fire restrictions start. There's very little of this trail that's flat. It's beautiful because you're right up against the rim, but that means you're constantly coming in and out of canyons, and it's a lot of hard work for the horses, which means they're sweating. And if we had to do over again, we'd bring some salt supplements for their feet. We've got grain here for them, and they're grazing wild, but we would bring some sort of electrolyte supplements for them as well. Also, I think I spoke before about, we're on horseback, but we are packing like we're backpackers. And that meant that we had to get back in touch with our camping lifestyle that we knew a couple decades ago. And we had to gear up. We spent a lot of time at REI and preparing the way a backpacker would prepare for a trip like this. And that means dehydrated food, camp stove, compact camp stove. This little setup comes with a couple of bowls and some eating utensils. We did learn a little tidbit from
Here's
the guys
the camp
at REI.
stove.
There's our camp stove right there. You have to set up just like a backpacker. These dehydrated food packets actually haven't been bad. They've been fairly good. A little tip we learned from the guy at REI is get a long spoon. The one that comes with these kits is very short and doesn't reach to the bottom of those bags. So I just broke it, but it's only about yay long compared to the longer spoon. It allows you to get to the bottom of that bag. So we have our simple water filter system. Every time that we come to fresh water, we stop and we make sure that we purify some water, and that helps to ensure that we always have water till the next water stop. You just don't know. There has been a lot of water in this trail, but you just don't know any given time of year how much fresh water you're going to come across. So we'd like to have that purifier. I mentioned packing like a backpacker, and we would highly recommend somebody carrying a Camelback, and that should provide you 100 ounces or so of clean water just to get you from point A to point B until you can purify again. All in all, everything's been going great. This is a beautiful country and a great trip, and hope this video helps you all to see a little bit of the country and what you're up against if you try to do the Highline Trail. We did have one other place today where we got into an area where our trail was good, but we also had some crisscrossing game trails, some pretty substantial game trails, and this is one of the first times that we got a little off track and we had to backtrack. And what we found is where a game trail had crossed the Highline Trail, the forest rangers or whoever maintains the trail had put a red piece of barrier tape red flagging in a tree. And in retrospect, I think what they were trying to tell us was don't go that way. And we found a yellow yellow tape indicating that was indeed the trail. So we got off trail just a little bit, not too bad, so it's back only a few minutes, but the trail is very well marked. In a couple places it's tricky, but again, this is really rugged country. You got to make sure your horses are conditioned and you're conditioned for it as well. But we highly recommend this trail. Again, hope this video helps. Alright, well that wraps up our trip. We've got about another 10-11 miles. We're going to come out this trail, and even though we're not doing the entire Highline trail, we've certainly seen enough to give you some of the information and guidance that you need to come out here and have a successful trip. You know, if we were going to do this again, we'd really take our time and maybe do it over 5 or 6 days and stop in those lush green places with nice running water and just really take our time instead of pushing the pace. Originally we set out to do 13 miles a day, and that just wasn't working for us, and it wasn't working for the horses. These horses are in good shape, but to do this trail in a few days, you really need to have horses that are in top-notch condition, and you need to be in top-notch condition as well. But I highly recommend this trail. It's beautiful, it's secluded and isolated out here. Beautiful country everywhere you look. There's wildlife abound, and this is just a great place to come on horseback. Hope this video has been informational for you, informative, and hope now you have a better idea of what to expect if you decide to come out here on the Highline Trail. This is Paul Bourgeois and Kathy Bourgeois celebrating our 20th wedding anniversary, and hope this has helped. Take care.